All right, severe weather, that will be going on the next 4 days across the United States. But of all of the days, we think it's going to be late today and tonight that we're going to see the most widespread severe weather. Now, let me show you the ingredients here. It begins with the warmth. Look at the widespread warmth today. Omaha, 70, 81 degrees. Indianapolis in the 70s, also 70s in Kansas City. Now, while we have a strong warm front lifting northward here, you can see the temperature difference between Minneapolis and Sioux Falls, Green Bay and Chicago. It's a big temperature difference. We also have this, a weaker little warm front that's coming northward. Now, that front, you can see the temperature difference. 81 Omaha, 66 in Sioux Falls. That front will also be the location where we're going to see an increasing amount of moisture. Look at our future dew points, and that goes right up. This green is where we're seeing dew point temperatures in the 60s. Where does it go? Right along that warm front. Where do you look for severe weather? Along and south of the warm front. So we have the warmth. Now we have dew point temperatures denoted in the green where they're going to be around 60 degrees or so. Here's your trigger. This upper level piece of energy coming out into the Rockies, but it's going to be delayed. It won't be arriving until late today. So watch what happens. We have to wait for this before this energy catches up with the warmth and moisture. So there's going to be an initial band of thunderstorms mid to late afternoon, I-35, I'd say from near Wichita toward Wichita Falls. Now those thunderstorms are isolated, but they can have isolated tornadoes. They can certainly have some wind and hail. But the big cluster of thunderstorms comes tonight. Look at this area as the energy comes northward and that warm front starts to activate where we get the moisture. Omaha, Des Moines, clusters of rain and thunderstorms late tonight. Then watch this tail of thunderstorms move toward Kansas City and Columbia as we head tomorrow morning. But the area to really watch is going to be that I-80 corridor from Des Moines toward Omaha. Additional thunderstorms again along the tail of that line toward Wichita and Kansas City. Where you see the moderate, that's where we're looking at more widespread severe thunderstorms. The yellow is where they're more isolated. All forms of severe weather are possible, but the biggest threats, I think, are going to be wind, hail, and flooding. Can't rule out a few tornadoes, though. Now, that's on Wednesday, Christina. Everything starts shifting east beginning Thursday.
It does. It's almost like a matching puzzle piece here on Thursday. You can see that some risk stretching from Peoria to Milwaukee, St. Louis, all the way down to San Antonio. We've extended this risk basically from border to border here across the country. Then you have the moderate risk. That's where more numerous storms are possible Thursday and Thursday night from Fayetteville to Little Rock, all the way out toward Texarkana and even stretching in toward Dallas. It's a similar situation to Wednesday in that I do think that wind and hail are going to be your bigger threats here. Here's the breakdown. Wind and hail versus flooding low and tornadoes low, but low doesn't mean zero. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few tornadoes, but we're not talking about an outbreak by any stretch on Thursday. It's just something else I want you to stay aware of. Let's follow the storms. Now, I think you're waking up to some problems on Thursday across the central and southern plains with a few nasty cells here and there, but then we lose a little energy in the late morning. This is give or take 11:30 or so. You'll notice it's not exactly as exciting, we'll call it, looking across the central plains and the southern plains. But then we ramp back up just past about 2:30 p.m. Central Time. Look at Arkansas, look at Texas, look at all those little cells. I don't love those. Now, again, I don't think that tornado potential is very high at all, but I don't think it's out of the question with those little discrete cells. Then we see this line start to congeal a bit more about 5:30 p.m. or so. We could have some issues around rush hour for cities like Dallas or Little Rock, even St. Louis. So please check on the AccuWeather app. Use that interactive radar before you leave work. You absolutely do not want to be on the roads when severe weather is in your area. That is incredibly dangerous. Then look a little bit later into the evening, more in the way of the heavy rain, thunder, lightning as well, and the gusty winds. Following into Friday, this same front brings the risk for some isolated severe storms from Little Rock to Nashville, Memphis, down to Shreveport, all the way from Houston to Lafayette, Louisiana. Then we move to Saturday. The front presses onward, and now we're looking at the I-81 corridor and the 95 corridor, an area where we haven't seen a tremendous amount of severe weather this year. So heads up if you live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, all the way down to Raleigh, Charlotte, Augusta, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina. That threat for severe weather, all threats possible, is there for Saturday afternoon and evening. Stay weather aware, and we'll be here to guide you through the storms.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out these other videos here and be sure to subscribe for new content and the latest weather news from AccuWeather.